This jail was built in 1875, and it was the fourth jail of Shelby County. And it went from 1875 to 1994 when we built our new facility down on South Gerhardt Road. This jail was both a jail and the sheriff's residence. So he lived within the same building, under the same roof as his inmates. This place was built for about $38,600 back in 1875. And it held, when we closed in 1994, we could only hold 39 inmates here, all males. We used to hold females here, we used to hold juveniles here, but due to state standards and minimum jail standards, at the end, it could only hold 39 people, 39 males. So it lasted the county for about 120 years, which is a pretty good investment for $39,000. Of course, that's back in 1875 the currency rates and not 1994's. 2 floors, there's 2 floors. There is a basement. We used the basement when we were here. That's where we did our laundry, and some of our evidence processing or evidence storage was in the basement. About 15 cells. So we could hold 14 downstairs, actually 15 downstairs, and then 12 upstairs, and then 4 in South Detention, 4 in North Detention, and 4 in West Detention. Should be a total of 39. Meals, as far as feeding inmates, originally when it was built, the matron, which was always the sheriff's wife, would fix the meals for the inmates, and she was compensated for that. When that became too costly, we hired out with the county home, which the county was already making meals up for those people out there. They'd send 39, 40 trays down here, and that's how we would feed the inmates. So the meals are processed off property, probably about 15, 20 minutes away. And then as soon as they got here, we fed them to the inmates. We had 2 people here at all times. I said 2 people. They weren't always deputies. I worked midnights. It was just me as a deputy. And we had a secretary/clerk that did all the books for the day and tallied up all the numbers that they had to do every day. So it was just me as a deputy and a female clerk. So if I needed help, we were on the phone with the road units or asking Sidney PD to help. And Sidney PD always came and helped.
I started in September of 1966, right out of the United States Army. I was a deputy sheriff on the road. There were 4 deputies, the sheriff, his wife was a matron then, which meant she took care of female inmates, cooking, washing, preparing food. Our total budget was $47,000. $47,000. I was appointed sheriff in about 1972 for a short period of time. The previous sheriff quit and worked for the state of Ohio Department of Liquor Control, and then they chose another sheriff. In that almost 3 weeks period of time, I was appointed at age 25. There are so many. I would probably think MERS that I worked at the local level. At the state level, interstate homicides of prostitutes, there were 11 of those. Another one where a guy named John Cody stole $100 million out of 43 states, and we worked on that for about 3 years before he got it. But those are several that kind of surfaced to the top for me.
There was rumors that Dillinger was kept here for a couple hours. I don't know if that's true or not. I never saw any paperwork that said that he was. As far as locally famous people, and I won't bring up their names, but we had 2 young kids, 19 and 20 years old, kill a farmer out in the country just a few months before we closed, and they were housed here. They're still over in prison with a death sentence over their head. So it was probably one of the most violent crimes that you could commit. Those two did, and they were held here before we moved to the new facility. Why did we have to build a new jail? That resulted in a federal lawsuit. We always met minimum Ohio jail standards in this old one, always. We'd spend weeks and weeks getting ready for that, and we always passed. But with the oldness, everything's old, the electric's old. There's no air conditioning in here. The only air conditioning we had was fans in the window. The only heating system was steam, and that came from the building next door. And it was very, very difficult to regulate. There was no modern conveniences, although no inmate was ever denied any rights while they were here. It's just the old needed to be replaced by new. So that federal lawsuit got the commissioners started this, to look at funds, and a sales tax was put on the ballot. People voted for it. Obviously, it took many months to get the new one built. So we sat down, and it was decided that as soon as we could get employees into the new one and start walking around, learning where doors were, where they went, we started sending extra people down, learning. So we had a couple, 3 months to learn once they got done down there, because the actual sheriff's office and road staff moved down to the new jail, April of '94. We had a dedication in May where all the public would come in and go through the jail. So the transition went really well. We did it all in one day. We started about 8 o'clock that morning, and we took 2 down at a time, and we got everybody moved. It went really well, really well.